Here's a tip for anybody who works in an environment that has stage gates. Find out as early as possible what the requirements are for each stage gate. You may find that not every project has to deliver on every single one of these requirements. That sounds quite obvious, and it's probably very obvious to you as a project manager, but it may not be obvious to everybody else in the environment. So at the start of the project, or as early as possible, have a look ahead and see what's being asked for at each stage gate, and then go and get an exemption on anything that you think doesn't apply. Who you get the exemption from, though, is also important. The people who approve your stage gates may not be the same people who are in charge of governance in the organisation. So you may need to get your exemption approved by your steering committee, your sponsor, and possibly someone with just a pure governance role. As an example of potential exemptions, I've seen environments where there's a lot of technical documents that are being required, but sometimes a non-technical project will come along and it's just not suitable to go and build a solution design for something that it just doesn't apply for. I wouldn't expect you to get an exemption on anything like your raids or your plans, so don't even bother asking on that. There may be occasions where it's worth seeking an exemption if a piece of work that wasn't previously identified as a project gets redefined as one. People take another look at it and say, that's definitely a project, start treating it like one. But the work's already progressed so far and it doesn't make sense to go all the way back and create, say, a full business case. You may get an exemption to say, just make a one-pager or something that explains the benefits and the reason why we're doing the project. Here's why this tip's really important. If you just turn up at the stage gate and then ask for an exemption, firstly, you're racing against the clock because somebody might say no, you've got to go and do everything. Secondly, it doesn't look like you're in control in that situation. You'd face questions like, why didn't you address this earlier? Didn't you know this was a requirement of the project? Is there something else you're not aware of? As an additional tip, I suggest that you get this exemption in writing, just because, between us, a lot of changes happen in leadership and in projects. So you never know, by the time you get to the third or fourth stage gate, you may be facing an entirely different set of people in charge, and they may have a different view. And at least then you can demonstrate you did the right thing, and if they've got a disagreement with this exemption, their disagreement is with the previous person who approved it. It may get overruled, you may have to go and do the additional work, but at least you're clear. I hope that was helpful to you. I'm here on an almost daily basis now. Every time I think about a new tip or recommendation, I'm here creating a video for you. If that's your kind of thing, hit the subscribe button. And yes, today I have been battling through a cold, but don't worry, because I've got pills, I've got water, I've got coffee, I've got lozenges, and just in case it's not a cold, I've got hay fever tablets, I've got a nasal spray. I'm good, but if you want me to feel any better, just head to the comments and put #PrayForStuart.